In a world like none other, there comes one man in search of plastic, in search of cons. He is known as Plasticon. Join him as he brings toys from another dimension to a household near you.
Hey guys, Plasticon here. I am going to talk to you guys a little bit about one of the things I have always loved ever since I was a kid, and that is Lego. Lego is one of those things that really causes the imagination to kind of go crazy. You can do anything you really want with Lego, correct? But the problem lies in this. When we were kids, Lego sets looked much different. You had sets that had just a few fire trucks that turn in a building that didn't actually have figures. You had some that went into the minifig scale, which allowed you to have a mail carrier. You can have a raceway. You can have a spaceship. And if you notice, there's even, you've got your knights sets that's got castles. Back then, Lego didn't require an IP. And when I'm saying an IP, some people don't know what that is sometimes. I'm just saying another company to even be involved, or a namesake to cause something to create a whole world of imagination for kids. To me, imagination was building pretty much anything you could out of bricks. And the reason Lego bricks resonate with me so much is because they're easy to take apart, put away, and put in a box. I can take them out, put them together, make whatever I want, and then put it away at the same time. And this is what kids relatively need nowadays, is more of this aspect of just creating things from nothing and not having to deal with it. Have to be Minecraft, it have to be Hogwarts, and have to be Ninja. Well, I'm not going to say Ninjago because that's Lego's own thing. But, anything dealing with it's got to be Mario. It's got to be Star Wars. It's got to be Lord of the Rings. Why? Why does it have to be that? Because Lego started out as a company that basically made little porcelain and wooden toys and moved into the brick building thing just to create bricks for kids to build things and create their own world. Nowadays, for a kid, like when I was a kid, I can pay relatively about $5 for, say, something small like a mail carrier set. This is about a $5 set. It gave you a vehicle and a minifig. Doors open on the vehicle. It's got wheels. You build the vehicle. The vehicle isn't pre-built. It doesn't have a bunch of pre-built parts. And you can pretty much do anything you really wanted to with it. And a lot of these toys kind of follow the same suit. This is another one, a good example of the same thing. About a $5 to $8 set back in the day. These were relatively really, really cheap. But now, let's go into what is available. And I've chose the range from 6 years old to 8, which most kids that are a little younger than that is normally Duplo blocks. I'm not going to get into Duplo because Duplo's its own thing, really. I've seen people use Duplo blocks to bulk out their huge builds they do, but I'm not going to get into that. What I'm getting into here is price point. And price point for kids to start out around 6 to 8 years old an animal, make it yours, completely out of stock for like $2. A keychain for like $6. Where's the building kits? Oh wait, Unikitty, oh, out of stock, $4. Gee, I wonder why these are out of stock, because they're cheap and they're small and kids love them. But when it comes to minifig, okay, you're buying one minifig for $4. Where are my kits at? Like a kit with a car, you know. Oh, we're getting into a little bit of something here, and these are out of stock as well for a train set and a rabbit. But I'm not seeing anything here that's even hitting the mark yet. I mean, kids' allowances really shouldn't be huge, but it's almost like you got to give kid $20 almost to get into any of this stuff now. And it's sad, because when I was a kid, this stuff used to be relatively available, and mom and dad would be like, you can get it, it's cheap. Well, here we go, Easter egg bunny hut. The hut's made of cardboard, and then you got a bunny for $6. What is this? Oh wait, here we go, roses, like flowers. Okay, those are cool for adults. Kid doesn't care about that. And this has been marked down from $10, by the way, and it's out of stock finally. But if you see what I'm getting at here, I'm literally looking at a price range. If I'm just, say, grandma looking, oh yeah, I used to get Lego kits for my kids all the time, get some here. Where do I go? Okay, finally I've got a set here. Oh wait, it's out of stock and it's 20% off. That's gone. How do I get rid of out of stock items? Show in stock only. Clicking on that button, right? Yep, I'm gonna scroll through all these. I'm gonna go third page, because I bet you I'm still on keychains. I am. See, this is what I'm talking about for kids. Kids are not getting what needs to be given to them. I mean, okay, cool, $7 for a base plate. I can understand that. Those are those large ones. Okay, finally, $20 off. Rambi the Rhino expansion set. It's an expansion set to something. We don't know what it is. It's a rhino. I personally don't know what that is. Somebody out there probably does. But see, the point I'm getting across is, okay, now we're finally getting to a vehicle, but there's no minifig for $10. Another vehicle, no minifig, $10. I can understand maybe the unicorn, or maybe this Ninjago motorcycle for $10. But that's what I'm saying. Okay, let's do inflation. Okay, I get it. But really, there isn't a huge amount of stuff here. You got a police car, maybe some Friends stuff, some Spider-Man stuff. But if you notice, Friends is Lego's own IP. But nope, we gotta throw Marvel in there already. There's an IP already rearing its head. Got a few vehicles here for town. Okay, the robot's cool. A few more vehicles for town. And then we go into, this is probably the Dreams sets. Their IP right here. It's like the IP has to leak itself even into the lowest base sets. And I find this sad, because why do we need an IP? Oh, here we go. We got some Yoshi. We're already bringing in Mario and Rapunzel. Here we go with the Disney IP. And now we got Minecraft in here. If you notice what I'm getting at here, everything here pretty much has its own IP. Except for Ninjago. I do not consider Ninjago an IP because it's Lego's creation. I'm just saying, for all these sets we see with a car and a minifig, that's all like, you know, superheroes and stuff. Now we're getting into little vinyl things. Like, this is crazy how how we've just literally walked away from sets again into storage bins. Okay, cool. Oh, $11. Here we go. This is more like it. We got Jungle Explorer, which is, very 90s. Then we got our little Snowmobile Explorer. Got a couple friend sets. Then we got our space thing here. Now we're actually getting somewhere for about $11. But the thing is, a lot of these are like, oh wait, this is Minecraft. This is Lego's IP of Friends. Friends is cool, but there's a lot of Friends sets around this price point, which I understand to get little girls into it and stuff like that. I understand that, but boys want into this too. What is there really? There isn't a whole lot for that. But the point is where's the mail truck? Where's the, I don't know, small race car? There's a couple race cars, but not like a whole bunch of tiny ones. Like, whatever happened to the standard little F1 racer that didn't take a lot of parts and came with a minifig, and it was about $6 back then. And we got some Technic stuff is cool, but the point I'm trying to get across here is, look, more IP, more Star Wars. You guys keep throwing Star Wars in the mix. The Hedgehog picnic date, cute. But what I'm trying to get at here is, here in a second, you're about to see a huge jump in price. Standard vehicle, like a Land Rover, with one minifig, $15. Why? Explain this to me, somebody, please. This is about a $10 item, not $15. I understand inflation, but this is getting ridiculous. Now we gotta throw in Harry Potter down here already again, and we have to have Batman, and we have to have Hulk, and then we have to have, well, the Halloween barn's cute. That's a seasonal thing. But oh, look, this is Minecraft. Then we got Mario. And then we go into flowers. Okay, these are cool for adults. Kids don't give a rip about these. They just don't. They want a toy that they can build and play with and create their own world. Birthday cake, that's funny. That'd be cool for like a birthday party. Well, I mean, it's Lego. You can do anything you want with the parts. I get it. But $15, that's a bit much for that. And I'm just seeing here, like, this is Iron Man armor, this is Venom. Like, we're literally diving headfirst into IP territory at this point. Friends, cool. Then we got Animal Crossing. Do we necessarily need all these IPs to carry Lego, which did this type of thing here well into the 90s? They did their own Legoland stuff. And in the 90s, yes, I know it was rough. It was very rough for most toy companies during that time. And I completely understand that because, I mean, I'm a kid. Well, not a kid, but when I was a kid during, the 80s, that's pretty much what was on the shelves, was all these Legoland brand stuff. There was no crossover with this, crossover with that. I feel like everything now has to have an IP attached to it, otherwise it's not relevant. And this is really sad for kids. Kids aren't going to be playing with toys in the future. They're going to be playing with a cell phone. They're going to be playing with maybe a handheld video game of some sort in the future. That is all they're going to have. So what are the kids actually going to be having any kind of nostalgia for? What are they going to be after? And when it comes to building bricks, all I can remember is Star Wars, Harry Potter, Friends, Minecraft, Marvel, and that's it. I understand, like, when Lego does, like, the Lego Transformers Bumblebee. or the Lego Optimus Prime they came out with. Those are good one-offs. Same thing with the Lego Voltron. I think those are cool. But price point wise, they're not affordable for kids. So the one thing that they're really trying to appeal to is adults by throwing everything in a black box and sticking it on a shelf and then putting a premium price on it. And I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Like, adults buy these for their own collection, but adults also want to buy Lego sets to appeal to their kids, and their kids aren't even able to afford a small set to even see if they're even interested in it. When the interest is what I just showed you now, between this, I was thinking of everything under $20 is what I was thinking. There isn't anything, hardly at all, for a kid, for Lego, under $20 that even will really boost their imagination or, anything. Back when I was a kid, most of the boxes and even some of the instruction manuals had alternate builds on the back of them. There was never instructions for these alternate builds, but the alternate builds were easy enough to look at that you can probably build it yourself. I'm going to try to bring this picture up here so that way you guys can actually see what I'm talking about. And right here, here's a good example. I actually used to have this set when I was a kid. This particular little raceway. And this little raceway had so many different alternate builds on it. These blew my mind. I was like, oh, I can make this, I can make this, I can make this. If you look in the back of the box of all the Lego sets now, it's literally just more pictures of the same model built in different poses, different orientations, stuff like that. Doesn't even show what else you can build from that set. And I think that is dropping the ball hard, especially whenever it comes to trying to spike a kid's imagination, especially with the price point of toys nowadays. And it's just going to get worse. It isn't going to get cheaper. That's what people need to understand, is this is all going to continue to get worse with time. And it's not going to help these children at all. It's cheaper to get them a cell phone because you get a cell phone through your phone deal. Your child doesn't even know what a bill is, let alone what is even attached to that phone when they're 4 or 5 years old and this thing is given to them. That's fine. But where's the imagination? Where's the creativity? There's no creativity in this anymore. It's all turned into an IP. And when something becomes nothing but straight an IP, this is what we get. This is exactly what we get. Some daffodils that some adults like, kids ain't gonna really care about. Friend sets. It's basically Barbie doll for Lego. It's cute for little girls, but to be honest, most little girls are going to get a Barbie over this. Some of them do like Lego, but they're probably not going to go for this consistently. But most of your Lego IPs are Marvel in this range, or Star Wars. What happens whenever Star Wars is ran out on its Steam? Marvel's already hitting that like hard. There's a lot of people that have just been exhausted from superheroes. They're exhausted from laser swords. They want to move on and do other things. And this isn't going to hold people's interest here in 20 years. In 20 years, Lego will be a completely different company. It won't even be making probably half the stuff that we're even seeing now, especially whenever they're doing all these Halloween totes. And I mean, the how-to Lego books have been around for ages. I even had some of those when I was a kid. There was only a couple when I was a kid, by the way. There wasn't like 20 books of Lego stuff. There's only like a couple that were available. And I'm not saying this out of jealousy. I'm just saying this is where their focus is. Their focus isn't on actually making a toy anymore. It's more on how cool can I make a book to sell to a kid. Maybe that might get their interest. Normally it doesn't, because most of the time I'll go to like a thrift shop or a Goodwill, and you'll find the ones that used to have the little action figure, had the little minifigs in them. The minifig's gone, the book is there. No one cares about the book. The only thing they cared about was the exclusive minifig it came with. And some people are just like, oh, cool, goes in the kids' collection, or they grab it and turn it back around and sell the little fig on the aftermarket for God knows how much money. And these kids aren't even getting any joy out of any of this stuff. And the other day, I think the reason this really kind of started resonating with me is I went out for a walk, and I saw these two kids out playing next to, these huge electrical boxes that we used to sit on when we were kids, those big green boxes. And I saw these two kids playing outside. They didn't have any toys. You know what they had? Sticks. Seriously, sticks. I don't know, they were doing something like vampires or something. I could kind of hear them. I wasn't like scoping out everything they were doing, but it was something I noticed. And I'm like, this is our future, guys. You guys really think these little plastic toys have so much value? There's more value in this toy in the hands of a child than there is more value of this toy sitting on a nice pretty shelf collecting dust, and no one's going to care about here in 20 to 30 years. And this is what all the toy companies, and honestly Lego, is really dropping the ball on. I mean, yeah, I was excited when they officially did Masters of the Universe figures that were Lego compatible, but to be honest, this is what I'm interested in, the figure. The bricks don't matter. Really, the bricks don't really matter. People mainly collected this line just for these. And these are actually really, really good action figures. I will get into a review of these things here in the future. But the point I'm trying to get across is there is so much out there that's being missed because no one's actually creating and building the things that are going to create an imagination and have kids actually enjoy it and have some kind of nostalgia whenever they're our age. Things that help us get through our life mentally sometimes is a silly little plastic action figure of somebody that we've come to really like, whether it was from a cartoon or it was just some imagination thing we came up on our own with. Because the thing is, not everybody had the cartoons. Not everybody had, the comic books. When I was a kid and I collected Lego, I still collect a little bit of Lego, not now, not so much now, but I do collect a little bit. I've had Lego pretty much my entire life. And the reason being is because it's a fun toy to play with. It's something you can create anything you want to with. And these kids aren't being encouraged to do that. They're like, oh, it's supposed to be the Millennium Falcon, so I build the Millennium Falcon. Now it sits on a shelf. Pick it up, play with it a little bit, put it back. What's the difference between having a Lego bricked Millennium Falcon and having an actual Millennium Falcon made from like Hasbro? What's the difference? Other than the fact that one can be took apart and the other one doesn't. Kid doesn't take apart the Lego one because they like what it looks like. Well, what if they had both? The one that's built out of Lego will probably end up in a bin somewhere because it falls apart too much, and they won't even know what else to build with it because there's no inspiration on the boxes. There's no inspiration on the instruction sheets. Most people are like, oh, just go online and look. What good is that when I've got the bricks spread out all over the floor and I'm trying to use my imagination and think? I myself used to do this with Lego, and I don't know if any of you guys used to do this or not, but I would just pour my Legos on the floor. And I have an idea in mind of what I wanted to build, and I started building it. And I'd sit there and look for hours for that one perfect piece and that perfect color that I wanted to match everything else that I was building. And as I was doing that, oh, this will be a good piece. This will be a good piece. I would sit there and null all the pieces that I thought would be really, really good to go into building this particular toy. And after I got done building it, I was like, oh, this is cool. And guess what I didn't have? Film from my Polaroid camera to take pictures of it. I didn't have a digital camera back then because those didn't exist. And my parents weren't going to loan me money for film for their camera. So it's on my shelf. I play with it for a bit, and I take it completely apart. I'm telling you now, I built some radical stuff back in the day. Really gnarly. Wish I had pictures of it, but I don't. But that's okay, because those pictures are still stuck in my mind of what I built when I was much younger. And the inspirations of some of the things, like when I collected Lego Castle, I created my own world with Lego Castle. I was like, the Black Falcons are like the bad guys, and the King's guys are like the good guys. And yeah, I know it's kind of apparent, but that's kind of how I started doing things. I started looking at stuff like, okay, how can I integrate this and create this? And then they came out with the Black Monarchs guys, and I was like, well, this is like a faction that's, attacking both sides. They don't care about either one, And then the dragons, later on in the mid 90s, it came out with Lego Dragon sets, and I was like, oh, this is like the whole magical universe and fantasy stuff coming in to really waylay waste the entire Lego kingdom or whatever it is that I have built. That's using your imagination. I didn't once refer to a book. I didn't refer to a comic. I didn't refer to a TV show, music, anything. I just created this in my own brain. I just went, oh, I can make this. This can work with this. That's using your imagination. That is literally creating something out of nothing, as Smuggler's Room likes to talk about. If you guys don't know what Smuggler's Room is, check that guy out. He's awesome. But I just wanted to touch base with you guys and let you guys know how important things are when you take the IP out of most things, and how things can change consistently and for the better if you just pull certain things completely out. Let's walk away from the fact that we have to have an IP attached to every single Lego set and go back to the roots of Lego sets and just create things because we want to create them. Make things because, oh, the back of the box shows me something else I can build. This is the stuff that kids need. They need this. Because this is what's going to build a better world around us, is the fact of having kids create things from their magical brains versus something that is basically told through the stories of Marvel, Star Wars. Yeah, I know this, okay, this isn't like a real Star Wars thing. It's basically a fan-made thing that they decided to make, but it's like, come on. Just a little bit of imagination here, but it's still Star Wars. It still ends up in the Star Wars world. Why couldn't this just be like some big mech suit that they could use and like, oh, this is a mech suit that I'm fighting aliens with. Get rid of the emblem. Scrap the Stormtrooper and put a space guy in there. Throw in a couple other colors in this. You can create an entire different thing. That's something you can do with the current stuff. But the problem is, it's stuck to this whole thing here. And most kids are going to build this, and it's literally going to sit on their shelf. And look, oh, well, the figure comes out. This is what we get on the back of the box, guys. The back of the box is so important. But it's literally the same thing. There's zero effort put here. Notice how much effort is actually put into this set, and they're charging $16 for it. When I was a kid, 16 bucks would get you something like this. This mobile lab. And they happen to have the instruction booklet, so let's see if they have the pictures on the instruction booklet. Probably not. I don't usually shop from Etsy for anything like this stuff, but you guys are getting the you guys get the drift. By the way, this is how much money they're wanting for these now, just because it's vintage. There's really no more pieces in this than there is in that Star Wars set. There really isn't. So if that tells you anything about inflation, it's ridiculous. But let's try to encourage kids to get into actually building Lego to build Lego, not to appease a franchise, because a franchise isn't going to carry everything, not forever. We're already seeing the decline on Harry Potter stuff. There's going to be a huge decline on Star Wars as well here in the future. You give it time, a lot of these IPs will go away, and they just won't exist anymore. Encourage more to the 3-in-1s, but let's try not to encourage the 3-in-1s that we have nowadays. And there's one other thing I wanted to really get into here and show you guys. One thing that I wanted to talk about with Lego. Let's see here. Yep. This is pretty cool what I just found. Now, when I was a kid, this isn't even talking about the nostalgia of anything, but let's knock the first one out here. This is what we're selling as a 3-in-1 now. This does not accompany any minifigs. Nothing whatsoever. But guess what? We're pulling that nostalgia string, right? I used to have something like that when I was a kid, right? Let's get real here. What I used to have when I was a kid was this one. Minifig. Could fit in the helicopter and fit in the truck. This was relatively about the same price as the one that they're selling now that doesn't even have a minifig. Oh, but you guys are probably, oh, I remember a bigger one, right? Yep, the one you remember is this one. This huge, gigantic one, by the way, can still hold minifigures, but a little large for minifigs. But it still was big, and this thing was expensive. But the one that was more inexpensive that I had was this one. And to be honest, amazing. Amazing little toy. This is a toy. This is what we should be selling. Not these wannabes that are like this, that's pulling a nostalgia string but doesn't actually pull a nostalgia string because all they did was downsize the pieces, by the way. Let's put it this way, if you got rid of all this stuff here on the top, got rid of this, got rid of the whole like inside here, and make it so it actually had opening doors and a canopy, and get rid of all this right here and put an open canopy on there, the set would be fine. But they don't do that. They put it everything solid. What fun is this for a kid when they're like, oh, I'm going to take my truck out for a Lego adventure. But where do I put my minifigure? You don't. This is what I'm talking about. This is what needs to come back. This kind of thing. And not for no $30. This should never be a $30 set. This $10 set. $10. Perfect for that. Kids would be eating these up if they were like this at $10. Lego needs to go back to the roots. All I gotta say. And you guys are wondering, well, yep, it has an instruction. This came with an instruction book just as well as everything else. And I wish I could find a picture of the stuff on the back, because it actually had some pretty gnarly things you could build with it. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here's the back of that set. What? I can build 2 drag racers? What? I can build a helicopter that has a trailer? And the truck comes off? Oh, look, I can build... I don't know, it's supposed to be, I think, like a... kind of like a tractor trailer kind of thing. With a little trailer on it. Just look at this. Like, I can build 2 drag racers. I can build an airplane with opening doors. Like, that is what I'm talking about right there. That's exactly what I'm talking about. This cool, awesome truck. But you can also make cool stuff with that same set. All I gotta say. So this has been Plasticon. This has been me ranting about Lego because, you know, Lego is a big thing. It's a huge thing. And I love it. But I don't want to see it go away and turn into what it's turned into. And this is me signing off. I'll see you guys around as I play more come your way. Peace out, y'all. Here we go. Bye. If you like this content, please like, share, and subscribe. I also have YouTube membership and Patreon, so feel free to sign up for those. I'll be doing shout-outs on those for those who donate toward the channel. Thank you guys for thank you all for your support, and I appreciate everybody that has been taking their time out to support the channel and check out what I do. This has been Plasticon. This is me signing off. Peace out, y'all. See you around. Bye.